kind of to feel that way because people can talk to you good, things could be going on good or right, but inside yourself, you just don't feel good. And so you don't want to look at it, you refuse to look at things around you, refuse to look at anything positive, and you just automatically, you get stuck and set in that feeling. Like I don't want to change the way I feel. You might not be thinking like that at the time, but realistically to me, that's how you feel because if you choose not to be in that mode or you choose not to be in that mind state, you don't have to be. You can choose your actions. You can choose how you feel about things. Now, you can't choose what happens around you. Things gonna happen to everybody. You know what I'm saying?
But that's why I was telling you I disagreed with you.
Mm-hmm.
Before I go into why I disagree with Mr. Lenny, I want to let you know this is part 2. If you want to catch part 1, you can go to Real Garage Talk on YouTube. You can catch part 1. And let me tell you why I disagree with you. You cannot control the thoughts that come into your mind.
But you misunderstand.
I definitely gotta be.
No, because you're gonna have thoughts.
But so many thoughts are rushing your mind at once to where you try to fight this one off, then you fight that one off. Hold on, let me just finish. Right? You can just be chilling, think about nothing. Mm-hmm. You're already down, mm-hmm. Your energy's down, mm-hmm. And these thoughts keep coming to you, and you keep trying to fight them off. And the more you fight them off, the more of that you think of. Mm-hmm. Now y'all go.
I'm gonna check this.
No, I can. But go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna break it down. You get about 10,000 thoughts a day. You can't control it. You can't control what comes in your mind.
That's what I said.
But you can control what you attach and give energy to.
Exactly.
If you got 10,000 thoughts coming to your mind randomly, all the time, and you trying, it's almost like a firefighter trying to put out all these fires, and you one person, and these fires just keep coming at you. And the reason why I'm saying that because for the people that are going through mental illness, depression, they have highs and lows. When they high, they're really high. When they low, they're real low. And
everybody has highs and lows.
I understand that, but when you low and these darts keep being fired at you mm-hmm. between your ears, it's hard to put out those fires. And even if you can, which is don't happen a lot, because if it did happen a lot, you wouldn't have suicide rate as high as it is.
What do you mean? What happens if it don't happen? Let's say that one more time.
If you were able to put out these fires in your mind at the rate they're coming in, suicide rate wouldn't be as high as it is.
I don't look at it like that. I look at it like it's not the rate that the thoughts coming in, it's how deeply you let them affect you. You know what I'm saying? It's how deeply they resonate with you. So if I think I ain't shit.
All of them resonate with you.
Not all the time. It's certain, look, people can attack you a whole lot of ways.
I'm not talking about people.
I'll let you finish your thought. People can attack you, or things, or life, or whatever can attack you a whole lot of ways. But there's certain things that hit you deeper than other things. So I get hit with all kind of crap. But the one thing that hit me really deep, that's what affects me and open the door for the other things to start affecting me. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like I ain't nothing, and then somebody, if you have something that bothers you in particular,
a trigger,
whatever, and all these things coming at you, they might not affect you that bad, but when that one trigger hits you, it opens the door for other things to affect you.
That's not what I'm talking about.
So no, that's not what you're talking about, but that's what you're saying. You're getting all these thoughts in, so how can you control what it is that you feel or how you think about it?
That's not true. For the people that deal with depression, they can be having a really good day if there has to be no trigger. Oh, okay, it is a trigger, but it's more subtle. Let me tell you what I mean.
I think you waited off, but go ahead.
Okay, I take that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I'm gonna stand my ground, which is, so it could be I'm just chilling, randomly just chilling, and a thought of maybe your grandma passing, or somebody close to you passing, or it could go as deep as, man, the temperature feels like this when such and such died. Or it's raining like this and such and such died. Right. It brings me back. It could be it could be the outside environment. It could be
about triggers.
Right. It could be it could be a smell.
Let's get past that. We know what triggers.
How do we get past that?
Because you saying what causes you to feel a certain way. We ain't denying that things cause you to feel a certain way. But that's internal. It don't matter where it is. What we're saying, and if y'all watch the first show, you're gonna see where I was talking about if you're dealing with something, it's not an easy thing to deal with. Like you build
But y'all
up.
make it
Hold
seem
on, no. You build up to being able to deal with things. It's not always gonna be easy, but if every time something happens to you, you entertain it. If everything something hurts you or bothers you, you entertain that by saying, okay, this thing makes me feel down. So I'm gonna go all the way down with it. I'm gonna let me affect it. It's gonna affect me completely, and I can't come out of that. You can choose to not accept that feeling. That don't mean that, you know what I'm saying, you can just change how you feel. That means I'm not gonna accept being this way. I'm not gonna accept being this low. So if I gotta go talk to somebody, I'm going to, because I ain't gonna accept being down. If I gotta, when that feeling comes across, I need to do certain things to get away from that. I need to go do some stuff to get this off my mind. I'm not gonna sit there and allow that feeling to fester in me, because I know if it does, it's gonna cause me to get this low. It's gonna cause me to be other things that come and make me get even lower. You know what I'm saying? So what we're saying is, things are gonna affect you. You're right. It's going to be 1,000 thoughts that come to your mind. But it's always usually that one thought that happens first that take your walls down and make everything else even more sensitive to you. So if that one thing happens, that trigger that you're talking about happens, how do you deal with it? You can choose to let that trigger affect you enough to where it push you all the way over. Or when that trigger comes, I need to do something to keep this from to get me down. You can make a choice. I don't have to choose to be mad every time something happens. I don't choose to have to be upset every time something happens. It's a choice. It's only emotions can be controlled somewhat. You can't control when it hits you. Things that make me feel like crying, I can't necessarily say when it happens to me, I'm just automatically gonna not cry. But once I start getting that emotion and it starts welling up in me, I can have enough in my mind to know what's going on and do something to prevent it from being overwhelming to you. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Build up to it.
I hear everything that you're saying, but then at the same time, I'm gonna ask you, okay, so now these thoughts come to your mind. You was just chilling, random, good day. These thoughts come to your mind. What would you recommend people do so that they could kind of like shake that off?
Whatever gets your mind off of it. What are you doing when it happens that gets you? So give me a trigger. Let's say I'm sitting down and I'm just doing it. I'm chilling, I'm watching the football game. Everything.
And the devil tell you, you know what, man? You got everything you want. Your money good. The house is good. Kill yourself.
I mean, man, I ain't finna entertain that. You know what I'm saying?
That's your next
And my mind is like, I'm not going to entertain that, because if you believe in the devil, then you believe in God. So if I know something telling me to kill myself, I don't think about it. The devil telling me, if I feel like that, I know that ain't that's not a true feeling. That's something just making me feel crazy. That's not a true thought. You know what I'm saying? So if that thought come across my mind, I'm like, man, I ain't entertaining that. You know what I'm saying? I love me. If that's what it takes. Now some people can't get it. You don't think that.
Hey, what the? You know, I'm hold on now. This guy too quiet for me.
Really quiet.
What you quiet for?
No,
Don't process. Tell me what you think, because when you say I think about killing myself and that's on your mind, and you saying just kick it out your mind, a lot of people ain't that strong to just kick it out their mind.
You gotta build up.
Let's break it down. Let's break it down.
Let's do that.
Let's break it
Let's
down.
do that.
Whatever you hear, you start believing. So.
That's not true.
No, I'm telling you. No, it's not. This is not. This is fact. Whatever
True.
you hear, this is fact. It's fact.
Whatever you hear,
You believe.
you believe.
Yep. The more you hear, the more you
The more you
believe.
believe.
So
Yep.
now, when you in these points, when you get to this point, what am I hearing? And if you adjust what you hear, hey, I speak life. Hey, I'm amazing. I'm more than amazing. I'm better than that. I am phenomenal beyond measure. You're hearing this about yourself. Although you don't believe it right now, you keep on hearing it.
You build up.
You'll
build
believe
it
it.
up.
The old girl said, "Why you cute?" Boy. One time, man, stop playing with me. But if she tell you that every day, eventually you're gonna look in your mirror and be like, "Oh shoot, you might be the ugliest cat in the world, but my old lady tell me I'm cute."
I must be the.
Oh. So now you understand that we get that from what we hear. So when these thoughts are so hitting us, let's change what we're listening to. You got there's no coincidence.
Everything is intentional. So now I have to intentionally change what I'm listening to. Although I don't want to and I don't feel it.
You don't feel it.
Once you say, you know what, like Les Brown said, look, it's possible. I don't even believe it in myself, but I'm not going to limit myself. I'm going to say it's possible. Although I can't see it right now, it's possible. And the more you say, oh, now you go from it's possible to, you know what, I can do this. And then you from, I can do this, let me figure out how to do this. It's like the law of attraction. You big on law of attraction. Hey, you can't jump from emotion, you can't jump from sadness to excitement.
Right.
You got to ride the wave. And if you go from sadness to anticipation, sadness to, I don't know the cycle, sadness to a lot of happiness. Expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Now you shift it, and then you're not in that same place. And then it's not going to happen overnight. It's a process. It's a process in riding the waves, but you have to be intentional in choosing not to stay in that spot.
Let's be realistic. Most people that have the thoughts of suicide, they don't kill themselves the first time the thought come across their mind.
True.
You know what I'm saying? It's a period, it's a cycle. And as the cycle gets stronger, you continue to fester and let it fester, the stronger it's telling you, and that's the stronger you're hearing, this is what you need to do. It's directing you to do something. You can choose not to listen to that. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, it's what you listen to. To me, it's what you listen, it's what you accept. It's what you accept. I ain't gonna accept you telling me to kill myself. You kill yourself. You know what I'm saying? Why I need to kill myself?
Hey, you know what's dope when you said that? What you made me think? Did I cut you off?
No, go ahead.
Well, what you made me think about was I was watching Wonder Woman, the new Wonder Woman, the new Wonder Woman, right? And there was a scene in there where the dude played the devil, and he was like, it was a scene where he was like, I don't make anybody do anything. I just make suggestions. And I was like, dang, they put that in the movie? That was dope. But on the real side, let's get real. If you're going through a lot, you're losing loved ones, you had a rough upcoming, it's hard for you to focus at times. You do need to either reach out to somebody. YouTube has a lot of motivational speakers that you can follow. I'll give y'all a few. Les Brown, he awesome. Bob Proctor and Zig Ziglar. These are people that you can honestly go listen to. And like Mr. Murphy said, it is not a fast process. I know, listen man, this is gonna hurt a couple people. I don't mean it in a negative way, but it's just real. You pray and you feel like you want immediate response. It don't work that way sometimes with God. Sometimes God needs you to not only seek Him, but get what He needs you to get out of that situation. And in all honesty, it's gonna be a transition. And no, you can't change who you are. You can't control what thoughts you have. But what you can do is watch what you're listening to. Videos you watch. I do find it ironic for me to say this, but it's the truth. A lot of stuff on Facebook be negative. You gotta turn that shit off.
Social media, period. Especially
social media.
Especially if you're dealing with suicidal thoughts or self-esteem issues and stuff like that. You don't need nobody on that. People get strength off of other people's weakness.
Yeah.
So when somebody knows I can say certain things to you, or I can do certain things, and it's gonna get you. It's like they controlling you.
Triggers.
I can get you to do what I want you to do. I can get you to react. It's like they controlling you. Man, don't let nobody control you. And if you're not strong enough to not allow things that people say and do to control your actions or how you feel about yourself, like I said, sometimes it's time to cut away from that stuff until you are able to deal with that stuff.
And sometimes, as sad as it is, it's going to be some friends, it's going to be some family members that you ain't going to be able to kick it with, man. You know, if they bringing you down, if they making you feel down, you feel like you ain't good enough, man, you're going to have to go ahead and cut some people off. It's just the way it is. Until you get yourself situated and strong enough to where you feel confident in yourself, I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm going to share with y'all something that was real, right? One of my homeboys when I was down tonight, he was like, hey, man, when the last time you took yourself to the movies? When the last time you went and ate by yourself? Can you go eat by yourself and feel confident in eating by yourself? And I was like, that's the lamest thing I've ever heard. Until I tried to go do it. And then it's awkward to go eat by yourself. But then when you get comfortable and you start loving yourself, this is going to sound crazy. It really is, but it's the truth. When you crack yourself up, you good. You in a different place when you can talk to yourself and yourself become your best friend and you can actually be who you is in front of everybody. Like, that's how a big thing at real garage talk. Hey, be you, be yourself. I can't do it.
So, look, before we move on, we're gonna move on off this, but I want to say this to piggyback off what he was saying. Yesterday, like I said, y'all go back to part 1, y'all see some of the things that we discussed so y'all can catch up. But we were talking about, I gave kind of my story a little bit about what happened. In my process, what I did learn how to do, which helped me tremendously, was I learned how to be with myself. I learned how to enjoy me.
I gotta ask you, you did that on your own? Was that through prayer or you just kind of meditated? What happened?
I almost didn't have a choice. You know, you be so used to having everybody be around you, and in the place that I was at, I feel like I couldn't talk to people about stuff that I was going through because they wouldn't understand. Right. So it kind of put me in a position where I was by myself. So I had 2 choices: to get down, to feel down, and allow that to take me out, or to find a way to deal with it. Right. And so, like I was telling you, I had a choice. Right. My choice was when I start feeling like that, I'm finna go do something. I'm finna take myself out to eat. I'm finna go travel over here to do this. I go to the club by myself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because I don't need nobody to, you know, sometimes you ask your friends or somebody to go somewhere with you, especially when you're feeling down, right, and nobody don't want to go, right, that make you feel like, dang, niggas must don't like me or something, right, they ain't feeling me. Right. I ain't need that. It took a minute, but I was like, man, I want to go see this movie. Guess what I'm going with? By my damn self. That's tough. And that's real. You know what I'm saying? I want to eat good today. I'm finna go eat good over here by my damn. I don't need nobody for that. You know what I'm saying? I see somebody there. You know what I'm saying?
And if not, I'm good by myself.
I go home, I start learning how to do with me. And then it enables you, you know, in another conversation, but it enables you to be better for other people when you're able to be there for yourself. All right?
So what he said something that's real valuable. Take time out for yourself.
Learn what you like.
There's a lot of moms, dads, that's being moms and dads so much that you forgot what you like. If fishing is your thing, go fishing. If cooking is your thing, cook. If grilling is your thing, grill. Whatever it is that's your thing, take some time out. Learn what you like, because sometimes you forget what you like because you're so involved in everybody else's life. Last week, our brother, Mr. Moffitt, he didn't really get to explain his truth. As you can, if you go back to part 1, you see me asking him what, why. Tonight, me and Lynn T, Mr. Lynn T, we're gonna be quiet for the most part. We're gonna allow Mr. Moffitt to explain his story, and if you got questions, shoot them at us, shoot them at us or at him. But for the most part, we're gonna be quiet. We're gonna let Mr. Moffitt go ahead and take off.
Appreciate that. First, I want to thank all my dogs. You know what y'all was like. Hey, that ain't everything. I'm like, bro, what you talking about? I said, what about this? So now, you brought it to my attention. Now, I appreciate that. T. Verdict, Dude Verdell. And this is what it was. Let me paint a picture for you. I said I got blackballed, but I didn't truly explain what it is. All right, so freshman year, I'm Neefy. I ain't worried about nobody. I just like to play. Boom, I'm out there playing. I cramp up, got a smile on my face. I like to smile. I got a smile on my face. Coach is thinking, he's just playing. No, dead serious. My hamstring cramped up. Like, I'm in the training room. I'm cramped up. Nah, you just out of shape. You just this. You just that. So the black ball, let me explain what it was. Because I am who I am. I'm a fun guy. I like to have fun. I won't take nothing serious. When I got to college, I said, look, my mama done yelled at me so much in my life. My mama, if you want to grab a bat and hit me, she can. She want to grab something and hit me, she can. When I get to a college, where y'all yelling at me, it don't move. I'm not impressed. Yelling at me don't move me. I'm not finna go out here faking. I played every play to win. And I won. But because my mindset was, I'm not gonna let you see me sweat. And no matter what I'm going through, no matter what it is, I'm gonna keep the same smile on my face. It was perceived as me being lazy. It was perceived as me being not caring about football. Something that I done dedicated my life to. Oh, you don't care. So, I'm gonna take you back. Football. My perspective and what's really going on. I want to play, and I'm trying to play. I'm playing.
Bro, you sound fishy. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm playing. If you pull up any film,
But bro, it sound fishy because you like, you want to play, but you said like, when it's time to practice, you wasn't really practicing.
Well,
you said, then you talked about yelling. You lost me with the yelling.
Let me explain that.
And you saying that your mama yelled at you so much that when by the time the coaches started yelling at you, you was numb to it?
No, my mindset when I got to college, like, I had Mickey Andrews as a defensive coordinator.
Okay.
Mickey had cut you out quick. One true story. He came up to me one time. I'm talking about, we got drills. I'm talking about, I killed the man. You know, we do, okay, one's here, two's come back. One's got 4 plays, two got 4 plays.
We have no idea what you're talking about.
So the first team run 4 plays, the second team get the repeats.
Okay.
So he come up to me, I'm tired. He come up to me, smooth as ever. It's that shit that high and palm back. And then walk away.
What he said?
Do that shit that high and palm back. And he walks away. I'm tired, I realize, man, he just tried me. And now I'm mad.
Okay.
But then, you know, it's the mind games. In the cafeteria, called my grandma by name. How Miss Martin doing? I remember when I came to your house and she came. So now it's these mind games. These are the kind of mind games that they play with.
Right.
And I won for it. I'm like, I'm here to play football.
Right.
I want to enjoy myself. So, I got the negative stigma of being lazy. I got a stigma of being lazy. And,
bro, is it true or not?
no, it's not. It's all on perception. And this is what I had to understand. My stepdaddy used to get on me all the time. Why you at the third and long to make a play? That's when the play needs to be made. That's how I get it.
That's how your mind works.
Yeah.
You wait the third, but you can actually play every play.
Yeah.
You can make something happen every play.
Yeah.
Oh. You know, I ain't the smartest motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you saying 2 different things. You do know that.
No. I'm telling you. I'm
No,
playing the
but
play.
I hate to challenge you, but I don't really do bullshit.
Yeah.
But you just said you weren't lazy, but it was perceived as you was lazy. Then you said you waited to the third down to make a play happen.
And he asked, like, say I made a play third and long.
Get that going for me.
And say I made a play third and long. The question is, why you ain't make a play first and second? My answer is, my answer is, I got a team, and everybody has a role to play. So I'm not trying to take all the shine, and there's opportunities for everybody. So everybody have an opportunity, but when it comes to the team and us getting off the field, we're gonna make it happen. And this is high school. So when I get to college, I'm balling. But see, the coaches couldn't really relate to me because I'm smart, I'm academically qualified. I had great score on my SAT. I had a high GPA. I'm academically qualified.
Sound like AFC smart, you're on good.
And so when I get there, you yelling at me, it won't work.
Bro, if just hear me out. I'm an outsider. I don't play football. I don't play shit. When you say you could have been doing this every down, every play, was you physically healthy to do that? And I probably shouldn't trying to challenge you. No, I'm just asking you because if you was physically able to do it, why didn't you just go ahead and do it? That's Brother Josh, Charlie Smooth. That's Brother Man.
To my understanding,
Brother, you ain't gonna get mad at me.
oh no, I'm alright. To my understanding, I'm doing my job. Jet robber, alright.
Well, again, sorry, bro. Is your job to make a play every down or just to hold your side of the field?
My job is to play within the system. I've always played within the system. A play don't care who makes it. D. Brooks told us that freshman year.
Okay.
A play don't care who makes it.
Right.
The best players are the most consistent players,
Right.
and they do their job every time. So now, you can't pull up no film where I'm not doing my job. I'm doing my job.
I ain't watch.
So what you're saying is you go extra hard on third down. You do your job first down, but extra hard on third down.
So to me, it's like, all right, we need this. All right, well, I'm finna get it.
At will.
At will.
Bro, then what the fuck happened to first and second down?
I'm doing my job.
Well, you're saying
I'm saying
that if you use it every down, it's always good to make a big play.
But,
so you're saying you just choosing to make a big play on third down or when y'all need it.
Well, in my mindset, and this goes into another part of it. My mindset is I'm gonna do my job, and I'm gonna give everybody an opportunity to do their job, and I'm gonna do my job.
Okay.
You're on a team with 4, 5, 6, 7 first rounds.
Okay.
I don't have to go out here and be phenomenal every play.
You got something.
I got 7 first rounders, and if we all play together, we're doing our job.
Right.
My teammates love me. Nobody has ever said, "Hey, you lost my tank." Nobody has ever said you lost my tank. Nobody has ever said you didn't do your job. No linebacker has ever complained to me about, "Bruh, come on, man, you killing me, dog. You letting me get to the chest." Nobody has ever complained about that.
Okay.
My teammates love playing with me because they know no matter what, he gonna do what he's supposed to do. He got this, he gonna take care of this, and I'm gonna be straight.
I got stuff. I wouldn't be myself if I didn't. Where the fuck stopped Mr. Moffitt from going pro?
I got blackballed.
Talk about it.
I got blackballed. The perception is, oh, he's a lazy player. Oh, he doesn't care. Because I'm not jumping when you tell me to jump. I'm not running when you tell me to jump. Run. I'm doing my job, and I'm doing it very well. And every day, I'm exaggerating every day. 3 times a week in practice, I got told for 3 years, I'm going to get somebody in here to replace you. And you know what my answer was? All right, get them. They ain't going to beat me anyway. I don't care who you get. You're not going to find somebody who's going to outplay me, who's going to outwork me. But I'm going to do it in a manner where I'm going to be me. I'm going to have a smile on my face. You're not going to see me strain. You're not going to see me sweat. It is what it is. And I'm going to keep a smile on my face no matter what you say.
So they felt like you was an asshole.
Yeah.
But nigga, you was being an asshole.
I didn't see it like that. But when does that overshadow
The work ethic.
Yeah.
But no, there is no.
Let's look at
There's
the
no
production.
work there. We can sing together, but we can't talk together.
Let's look at the production.
We can't.
Let's look at the production. I do my job. I grade it out at a high grade every time.
But there's a system they want you to follow.
And I follow the system. But because I'm perceived as not caring, you got people. And I'm just going to keep it real.
They want to ruffle your feathers.
No, not ruffle my feathers, because when they realize they come ruffle my
I
feathers.
was saying that'd be a problem when I can't ruffle your feathers.
Yeah, now, I'm finna get you. Oh, you gonna pay. No matter if I'm right or wrong, you gonna pay.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, this is part 2. You gotta catch part 1 on YouTube to understand where Mr. Moffitt coming from. We're gonna break this thing down tonight, though. We're gonna get it home for y'all. Go ahead, Mr. Moffitt.
Hey, so boom, my brother called me one day. He's like, we playing Clemson. This is 08. I'm talking about. I fought off a tight end. It was double tight end. I'm inside the tight end. And they're running the stretch outside of me where I got a D gap. And then I got
Mr. Murphy.
We just talking football.
Nobody knows what the fuck you talking about.
All right.
Who in the fuck knows that? The people that play the FSU. What the fuck you talking about? I just want to know what the fuck happened to you that made you feel like you started going into your depression.
So,
It's a lot that trend. Hold on, Mr. Murphy. There's a lot of shit that happened, obviously.
yeah.
32 fake, Down said that, motherfucking clock, 32 is gone. Who in the fuck knows? But, hey, we gonna keep it real at Garage Talk. That's what we do. We need you to tell the people, hey, you sound like Mama, I hope you ain't listening, but you're jacking me off right now.
Okay.
Because I'm asking you straight up, was it your fault or was it somebody else's fault you didn't go pro? Because obviously,
I was gonna say, how was it your fault or how was it somebody else's fault that led to you being in the situation you was in?
It's 100% somebody else's fault.
fuck, Nifty, that doesn't make sense. Wait, hold on. I took my hat off, Miss Nifty. You just said, just hear me out, what you told me. I'm sorry for the viewers. We supposed to be talking about depression. Things change gears. Shit happens.
We're getting some clarity right now.
Follow us.
We're gonna fall back.
Ms. Murphy, you said you was able to wreck shit every now, but you wouldn't do it because for the sake of the team.
Is that not the ultimate teammate?
No, Mr.
The
Murphy.
the NFL graded me a second round grade.
No, Mr.
The
Murphy.
first, second round talent.
First is being true to yourself. You gotta be true to yourself. If I can do this and get the job done, I gotta do this. Because there's a kid out there that's watching this, Mr. Murphy, and he can't sacrifice his athleticism for the team. You gotta be able to look. They didn't make that happen. I made it happen. And then I heard you saying off camera about, at the time, you know what I'm saying, there were some situations where you wasn't, your lungs wasn't at the capacity that they should be, and you was overworking yourself, which is fine. That part, fine. But when you blaming them for the stuff that you didn't do, that's kind of like not fair to them.
But the reality of the situation is, if you look at it based on your measuring system.
Based on what?
Based on the measuring system, the NFL measuring system. I had a second round grade.
Okay.
I had production.
Okay.
Speed, power, and I have film. I talked to the GM at the Atlanta Falcons, and he said, Neef, if it was based on film, I would have drafted you. But it's the stuff that ain't on film.
What stuff on film? Somebody talking to him? What on film that did he hear or witness that he felt like you wasn't somebody I wanted to draft?
Because somebody was saying, hey, this guy doesn't care. Hey, he doesn't care about this. He's not going to work hard. He's not going to put in the work necessary. But this is a coach perception and not my teammate's perception. You talk to anybody, but hey, Nisha, he gonna die on them hashes and on them gases. But my lungs at 60%. See, I never complained about nothing. At 8th grade, my lungs was at 60%. My mama had, not malaria. It's a viral something, malaria, it might be, don't give me the line. A viral illness when she had me. I was her smallest child. I came out messed up. My lungs was at 6%. I got tested in the 8th grade. You for your lungs at 6%. My head coach in high school, in hell, back when we had hell, he said, dang, I just thought you was lazy. I never knew you had it in hell. I was never the type to complain about what issues I got going on. My lungs at 60%. So what? I'm going to go. So what? I'm going to go, and I'm not going to complain.
I got to ask you this.
Uh-huh.
So what led you into the depression? not make it to the NFL?
Yes, when I work my whole life
Right.
at something and I put everything into it, and then somebody goes and say, "Oh nah, he don't really care about this."
I want you to go into that a little bit. Just go real quick. Go into what happened to you as far as being blackballed. You feel like you're being blackballed?
I had a coach, and I mean, all this is Google information, so I have to be very careful with what I'm saying. I had a coach at Florida State who left my school my senior year, and he came from the NFL. In my senior year, he talked bad about me to every school, every organization.
Right.
My junior year,
Right.
he's bringing up, hey, but look at him on display. Now, everyone understands that. So you have offense, based upon the week. Offense white, defense garnet, red.
Do it again.
Offense is in white jerseys.
You're doing it again.
Defense is in red jerseys. And scout team is in gold jerseys.
I love you, brother, but you're doing it again. Nobody knows what the fuck you talking about but you.
If you're in red and gold, you're on scholarship. There's 85 of us. We got 120 people out there. Gold, red, and garnet, you're on scholarship. Garnet and white, you're on scholarship. Gold, you're welcome.
Right.
So you got on the gold jersey and welcome. The film that was showed was when I was going against the gold jersey.
Miss Stephen?
Well, I know, I'm better than you.
Go ahead.
We can't even pay for your food here. You here because you love the school.
Miss Neefy, what the fuck does that have to do with you being depressed?
No,
I
got to tell you everything. This is all that comes to it. This is all that comes to it.
Y'all ass long-winded about depression. But fuck, can you?
When I didn't,
If you was fast forward the movie, Mr. Martin, get to the part that made you feel depressed.
When I didn't get drafted, and then I'm hearing, why you ain't there, man? I see you playing. Your film great. NFL team telling me, dog, and he just talking to me straight. He said, Neefy, if it was based on film, I would have drafted you. But it's the stuff that they don't. Because I'm perceived as lazy. I'm perceived as I don't care. So now this is totally not me. Anybody who knows me, I'm the team before anything. I've never tried to shine. And do that. I'm not
Why?
Because I feel like I don't have to shine. I don't have to dim your light to shine on who I am.
No, what are you talking about? That makes no sense.
It makes
How you dim yourself?
No.
Okay.
Listen, now I heard you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You did this shit to yourself.
No, sir.
Listen what I'm saying. I am an athlete. I ball. It's what I do. And you got the size. You got the size. You got the brains. And you got the strength. You dimmed your light so that other people can look good.
I didn't dim my light.
You said you ain't give it 100 because
No, I didn't say I didn't give it 100.
kinda.
I did my job. And
Right.
when the team needed it, I went over and beyond.
Well, that's what we're saying. That's what he's saying. You were saying that you had potential to go over and beyond every play, but if you did that, you would outshine. You want to give other people opportunity to shine, and so because you held back and only did it when it was necessary, as opposed to doing it all the time, then you gave a reason for them to say shit like you lazy or shit like you ain't. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna give all. You ain't 100% into it. You ain't 10 toes down in this because you only did it. You was looking out for your teammates. But in hindsight, looking out for your teammate screws you because you didn't show them the 100% and the Neefy that you was. You know, they knew you would draw, but it's like being a boxer. I boxed you good for 12 rounds, but the judges didn't give me the fight. I had to knock you out. I could have knocked you out, but I just want to show them that I can box. I want to give the crowd a show. But because I gave the crowd a show and they ain't knocked him out in the second round like I was supposed to, I left it to the judges. I lost the fight. You know what I'm saying? So in that case, you ain't knock him out the box by saying, he that dude, he shine every play. You know what I'm saying? You stand out every play. So there was no room for them to say that you was lazy. There wasn't no room for them to say anything because you shine every play. But because I want to give other people an opportunity you know what I'm saying, to see what was going on, for people to see that my team in totality is good, to give y'all the show that y'all looking for, not just be about me. It took some light away from me. It gave other people opportunity to look down on me or get a different perception of me of what I really was. That's what I seen on.
All right, and in that world, that makes perfect sense. But in the football world, a coach, when the coach said don't be an All-American,
He don't want you to.
that means you know the play. Don't try to show out, cause don't try to show out.
Right.
Every coach says play within the system. Nobody says, hey, go out there and do your own thing. Freestyle. No. They say play within the system.
No freestyle.
No, play within the system. The best players don't win championships. The best teams do. So now that I'm
Yo,
giving,
that's crazy. I'm just thinking
but
that.
check it out.
Hell no.
Check.
Yo, that's crazy.
You watch basketball?
I don't watch shit, but I know enough to
I watch
know.
basketball.
Who wins the championship? The best player or the best team?
The best team.
That's why LeBron ain't got all the championships. But the best team wins. And within the team, everybody has to do their role. And that moment when you step out of your role, that messes up the team.
Well, hold up, a big game. A good example. Hold up, big game though. I'm gonna ball out, and when I'm not able to make a play, that's when you step up. You gonna step up when I can't. You know what I'm saying? Or when I miss a play, that's time for you to step up. I can't wait till all y'all not doing y'all job and then I step up because you looking like the background singer. You know what I'm saying? You might be a good background singer.
Listen. Oh. We getting off topic.
Yeah, we do.
We off topic. Your ass on one. We out there with you. We got us out there. What? Listen, bro. Don't you swing on me. You too fucking big. You swing it on me now. I'm calling people on your ass. Bro. How did you deal with the aftermath of your situation? And you are definitely obligated to feel how you feel about the situation. No matter how anybody look at the situation, you and everybody think differently. The support system, you had friends that bring you back. You had what brought you back to reality. Because listen, I'm not disrespecting you, bro. I'm gonna be me. You know what I'm saying? But I know from hearing you talk and then listening to the mentality, you felt like you was trying to be the best team player that you could be, and which is cool. And I understand what you're saying. And a lot of people can get that confused, like that's nothing. But when you feel like I'm being a team player, I want you to understand what he's saying. For the mom that's asking dad to wash dishes at night and he don't wash them, close the toilet seat, or whatever the situation is, and vice versa, it's the same shit that he's saying, which is he was trying to be a team player, and for the moms and dads and whoever in a relationship, you feel like you're looking for a team player. Look at me like an asshole.
Like what the hell?
Because you know how to speak sign language?
I don't know how that equates to what the hell.
What he's saying is that he looked at it differently. You know what I'm saying? I personally feel like the coaches was trying to, help you.
Yeah.
But let me finish. Because there's a lot of people that understand what I'm saying. You feel like you're trying to be the team player. He been an asshole. I don't know if I need to sign language this motherfucker or what, but you feel like you're trying to be the team player and the shit going unappreciated, and that's where you at with it. And then when you're ready to make plays, you can do it at will. But it allowed you to slip into a depression, and you feel like you've been blackballed. And from previous conversations, you was telling me how the coach went behind your back and was telling people that you were lazy, and that's the reason. Because I want y'all to understand, this dude was phenomenal. He can play ball. As you hear him talk tonight, you can clearly understand or not understand he can play ball. But sometimes you will have to humble yourself and do what's needed, what's necessary to get to the next level. For the kids that's watching, I don't mean no disrespect when I say this, but you have to shut up and do what the people want. If they run in the work, I know you disagree, but it's their organization. It's their whatever. It's their system.
All right, now let me tell you the rest of the story.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so I got blackballed. I found out I got blackballed from the coach. Boom. All right. Now I'm upset. Because everything I worked for, one coach. It took his one word over my body of work. Jimbo Fisher came in. He seen Jim. I'm name dropping. Jim. Well, mat drills is the worst thing possible ever. Mat drills is the worst thing ever. I came in that film. I came in that spring. Jimbo first year.
Right.
They couldn't even say my name. My name was Nikki fucking Moffitt. Excuse my French.
Yeah.
Nikki fucking Moffitt. No, it's not. Nikki fucking Moffitt.
Oh wow.
You can't block him. You can't reach him. He's spilling. He's stopping wide receivers. He's running down wide receivers. He killing our quarterback. He said, man, I never would have thought you was this type of player based on your off-season workout. So, boom. Now, let's get so now I'm angry. Now, let's fast forward. I don't get drafted. I'm angry. I want to kill myself. I'm angry. I overcome suicide. But now, the next part of that is anger. And my anger at him spilled in every point of my life. It spilled. I can try to play cool, but at any given moment, I'm gone. And it's my anger at him. Yeah. It's my anger at him because of what he did. I graduated in 08. I got a call in 2017 from his coach. This same coach, he called my cell phone. He called my cell phone from his private number, his personal number. Coaches have, he a D1 coach right now. Coaches have their regular numbers, they have their personal numbers. He called me. I was at the corner of Malabar and Babcock, right about Richard. And he called me. I remember it like it was yesterday. He said, Neef, I gotta apologize to you. I didn't know how to deal with you. You were different than everybody else. I treated you like everyone else. And in 2008, you were before your time. I didn't know how to deal with you. He never went into details of what he did. He just said, I didn't know how to deal with you. He said, I'm sorry. He distinctly said, I'm sorry. Anything I can do to support you, I will. But it's like, now, back to what Lenny said. I got a choice to make. Do I want to hold on to my anger and just, I'm mad, like, I want to split this dude on sight? Or do I let that go in you? And I want y'all to tune in because I'm going to tell you what happened after he called me. He called us in 2020. 2017 he called me. I graduated in 2008.
Wow. Almost 10 years later.
Almost 10 years later, where it's certified. Anybody who came, we got Hall of Famers in there. Neef is the type of dude who will be in the NFL for 13 years. You don't even worry about it because you know why? He do his job, he take care of business, in and out.
That's crazy.
But like DNT said, I had a choice to make. And we're gonna talk about that choice.
Already.
When we come forward.
On that note, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. There will be no final thought tonight. As you can see, it's deep. It's a rough run. It's a real run. It's real garage talk. We ain't gonna lie to you. We ain't gonna do no fluff. We're gonna keep it 100. I know a lot of people have a lot to say. We can't just end it like that. I will say this, mishaps, misunderstanding, confusion, it's a part of life. Like they said, I disagree with, but like they said, it is a decision. It's true, I disagree with it, but it is a decision that you have to make for yourself. Whether you're gonna be angry and live with that, or whether you turn that into positive and live with that. One way or the other is a decision you have to make. You can blame your mama for not being there all your life. You can blame your daddy for not being there all your life. Or you can make a decision and say, I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to be better than that. This is mental illness. This is 101 right now. We thought it was going to be a quick series, but at the time right now, the way it's looking, Blaze, the way it's looking, you have to go on a couple different series, and that's what we plan to do at Real Garage Talk. I am Mr. Talvin.
I'm Lynn T. Before we end, I just want to make sure y'all understand this is an ongoing series, so probably gonna do a couple more series and close it out because there's so much to do with this topic as far as mental illness goes. Right now we're talking about our specific stories, and the reason we went the way we went tonight was because we wanted to make sure we got some clarity. We want people to be open, you know, and on what this show, what we do here, we really transparent for the most part. Like we wide open. We gonna tell you what it is. I ain't trying to hide nothing. I'm who I am, Mr. Talvin, Mr. Neefy. They who they are, and that's what y'all gonna get. So anytime either one of us feel like we side showing or whatever the case is, we gonna call each other out. And in this case with Mr. Neefy, we called him out. You need to tell everybody what it is. You know what I'm saying? We ain't holding, we ain't no holds barred. We don't do it like that. So,
But at the same time, there's no disrespect.
yeah, no, we understand people may be thinking of things that we're asking. We want to know too. So if I want to know, if Mr. Talvin want to know, in between any of us, we're gonna make sure that person knows.
What feels good is I can ask my brothers with no filter, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
And then you should be able to do that with your people. Mr. Mafia, you want to go ahead and finish it off?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say this, man. Hey, it's life. However you want to chop it up. You can let things happen to you, and that makes you a victim. Or you can let things happen for you, and that makes you a victor. The choice is in the response, not what happens. So check us out on YouTube at The Real Garage Talk. And comment, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. We appreciate y'all time coming in. And we're gonna go in. We're gonna get deeper.
Because that's what we do. Real Garage Talk, we out of here.